Recent trends, they highlight the importance of corporate social responsibility, the transformative power of AI, and the necessity for businesses to adapt to changing customer expectations.
Raising Voices, real interesting history. It probably goes back, say, 5-6 years. The idea came up of every organization is trying to figure out how we do a better job of driving inclusion and diversity, creating job opportunity for underrepresented people in marketing roles.
I'm building on the theme of technology and innovation. Let's explore the role of technology and AI in businesses today, because technology and AI, they're driving significant transformation across different industries, offering both new opportunities and challenges.
People's trust has really started to increase because there's a heightened awareness of the scams that are happening, but it also means if you're an authentic actor, you've got to think about how you ensure that authenticity sits there. The way organizations are fixing that or working around it is AI can create the content. You still need to have a human who can edit and refine and look at it and say, does this truly have a heart? Does this have a soul? Does this have something that...
If you are embracing technology and AI to drive growth and efficiency, please remember that staying ahead of technological advancements is crucial for success in the digital age. This is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the strategies and innovations that drive success in the Canadian business landscape. Today, we're focusing on key areas including creating opportunities for Indigenous people, the impact of technology and AI, and the ever-evolving nature of customer experiences. Recent trends, they highlight the importance of corporate social responsibility, the transformative power of AI, and the necessity for businesses to adapt to changing customer expectations. And this discussion will provide valuable insights for businesses seeking to thrive in a dynamic environment. Joining us today is Brent Chaters, the Managing Director, Marketing Transformation at Accenture, a global professional services company. Brent brings a wealth of expertise in helping organizations navigate digital transformation and enhance customer engagement. And today we'll discuss Accenture's Raising Voices program, the role of technology and AI, and the future of customer experience. So without further ado, let's begin. Brent, we're very pleased to have you on the show today. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you so much for asking. Now, Brent, I think I did mention a couple things in my intro that we will be focusing on today, but to kind of, highlight this, I mean, Accenture, it helps organizations navigate the complex of the digital transformations that are, here. So let's start by discussing Raising Voices and its impact. Can you please tell us more about Accenture's Raising Voices program and how it's focused on creating job opportunities for Indigenous people in Canada?
Yeah. So, Raising Voices, really interesting history, right? It probably goes back, say, 5-6 years. The idea came up of every organization is trying to figure out how we do a better job of driving inclusion and diversity, creating job opportunity for underrepresented people in marketing roles. Theory was, what if we got together a couple of the top CMOs in the country and put this out as a challenge statement, and what could that look like? Ultimately, what we landed on was Indigenous people, by and large, are the most underrepresented, not just in marketing, just across the board as a whole. Access to job opportunity is a lot lower. And so we came up with a program called Raising Voices. And the idea was to create a platform for people to come in and reskill, both around marketing skills, digital with a focus on digital marketing, and then also looking at creating a better equitable employment opportunity. So the unique thing here was you would go in, you would do 2 rotations at 2 different companies, paid at fair market value. But when you come out, you would also get competing job offers, right? So not just the idea of going out and getting a job, but if you're really good at what you're doing, then the companies that you've done rotation into, each one would be able to give you a job offer. And so that competing also then helps ensure that you're getting, a fair value for the work that you're doing. As it's grown, we've expanded to over 12 partners. We're looking to see us continue to expand out into, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a small enterprise, large enterprise, mid-market. It is an opportunity to create jobs. The people who come through, they go through training through Jelly Academy. So Jelly Academy is focused on all of the skills and certifications required across Google, Facebook, the various other tools that would be required, and then supported through Empower, one of the other key partners in there in terms of like resourcing and staffing
Right.
folks as well.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a very informative initiative. Creating opportunities for Indigenous communities, I mean, it's crucial for the social and economic progress, and I think that kind of commitment is very, very valuable. Now, building on the theme of technology and innovation, Brent, let's explore the role of technology and AI in businesses today, because technology and AI, they're driving significant transformation across different industries, offering both new opportunities and challenges. And we'll now kind of, we really want to understand like how organizations can navigate these changes and strategically leverage these advancements for their success. So please tell us, how are tech and AI transforming businesses across various sectors, and what are some of the key opportunities and challenges that organizations face in adopting these technologies?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple things that are happening right now, right? So when you look at what's happening with AI, everyone's kind of trying to figure out like how to get into the platforms. There's a lot of point solution platforms that are coming up out there. So companies that did not exist before, and they're saying, hey, we've got this great AI thing. I kind of have a bit of a challenger statement to that, which is I think the bigger players are going to just thread AI across their capabilities. So if you've got Microsoft, if you've got Salesforce, if you've got Adobe, if you've got any of those large platforms, they will enable that. That is great for large enterprise. If you're a mid-market, though, I think you have to look at what are those smaller platforms and how can you drive adoption. I think some of the really interesting things that are happening out there, especially for businesses that are kind of like in this like awkward growth stage of I've got enough scale where I'm getting a client base, but I've got to figure out how to accelerate. You can look at Writer, for example, to create copy for you. There are platforms that will create imagery and help you kind of craft brand and brand message. My daughter was interested in starting a small business. She's 11, right? So very young entrepreneur. And she's like, Dad, like, how do we do this? And so we sat down, we found a couple different apps that allowed us to create a logo for a business. And she could sit there and like describe it, how she wanted to look. She was like, I want it to be neon. I want it to be pink. I want it to be feeling fun. And so like she could like work with the AI. That's something that, you could not do before. So if an 11-year-old can sit down and create an entire brand capability around a business that she's looking to start, anyone can do that. The next thing is I think it starts to create an opportunity for scale. So in the past, I could send an email out. I'd have to have a whole call center or team to support responses. Now I can have AI respond back to a lot of the either questions or interactions that people are having with your campaigns to then send the next message out or the next communication. So it's one of those things that I think, you've got to be prepared to experiment with it, try out kind of everything that is out there, figure out what's right for your business. But yeah, I think you're going to also hear the language of what is your Gen AI stack? And that effectively that just means like, what are the various components that are required in there? So what are you using for brand? What are you using for email? What are you using for call deflection or call center? What are you using for customer care? Right. So each of those will have an AI capability. And if you were starting a new business right now, how do you build it from the ground up with AI in mind to help you accelerate the pace that you're going to kind of scale at?
Right. Well, that's a very insightful overview. So thanks for that, Brent. But the transformative power of AI is undeniable. And businesses, they need to adapt strategically. And I think that kind of future-focused perspective is very important. Listeners, if you are embracing technology and AI to drive growth and efficiency, please remember that staying ahead of technological advancements is crucial for success in the digital age. Now let's get back to our conversation with Brent and explore the evolution of customer experiences. We'll be right back with insights into how customer experiences is evolving in the digital age and strategies that businesses can implement to meet changing customer expectations. So please stay tuned.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. Us. Still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in,
Connect and recharge.
make an impression,
and meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's explore the future of customer experience and how businesses can adapt their strategies to stay ahead in a rapidly changing landscape. Now, let's shift our focus to customer experience and how it's continuing to evolve in the digital age, because as customer expectations continue to evolve, businesses, they must adapt their strategies to meet the new demands. Brent, this evolving landscape of customer experience, it requires businesses to stay agile and proactive in their approach to customer service. How do you see customer experience continuing to evolve, and what kind of strategies should businesses implement to meet the changing expectations of their customers?
Yeah. So every year we run a study called the Life Trends, and through the Life Trends, we look at like what are the big macro things that are happening. This year, one of the trends focuses on basically the paralysis that consumers are having. And so there's this weird paradox right now, right? So AI has created this opportunity to create a lot of content, a lot of material, new customer experiences, but customers are getting inundated with this. So it's not just like when I engage with one company, it's every single company is going out and creating this. And so what's interesting in this paradox and what organizations have to be aware of is as you are creating your content, understand that your consumers are being inundated with multiple messages from multiple different organizations, and they can all start to kind of feel a little bit the same as well, right? Like when people look at AI, some people look at it and be like, it's just not quite right. Like it doesn't feel quite human, or there's some that people can't put their finger on. And as they're working through it, it's like that didn't feel authentic.
Right.
And when it doesn't feel authentic, my trust with you starts to go down. I start to question, is this truly something that is authentic? Is this something that is truly sent out? Or is this a scam? Is this somebody who's trying to fish for like details or whatever, right? So like, especially if you're in like areas where like financial information is involved, personal information is involved, people's trust has like really started to increase because there's a heightened awareness of the scams are happening. But it also means if you're an authentic actor, you've got to think about how you ensure that authenticity sits there. And so the way organizations are fixing that or working around it is AI can create the content. You still need to have a human who can edit and refine and look at it and say, does this truly have like a heart? Does this have a soul? Does this have something that we can connect with from a consumer perspective?
Right.
And so I think those are the things that as organizations are kind of starting to build out and think about like, how are they using AI? The tools are there, but they're tools, right? Anybody can pick up a paintbrush and create a painting. Right. Does it mean you're an artist? Maybe, maybe not, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's still a very critical role that humans have to play. And so you still have to think about like what it is that you're putting out there to ensure that you continue to build that trust with your consumer base.
That's a very customer-centric approach. I mean, understanding and adapting to customer needs is paramount, and I think that kind of emphasis on CXs is very valuable. Now, Accenture is at the forefront of AI and technology, so let's discuss that work. Brent, what are some of the most exciting developments that you're seeing, and how are you helping clients prepare for the future of work?
Yeah, so I think I'll say in the last decade we've gone through a couple big changes, right? So if you went back, you had COVID that drove the largest adoption of technology we've ever seen. Right. In fact, everybody had to figure out how to get digital. Like that was a critical thing. As we start to think about how we got digital, everybody made that move very quickly, but they didn't think about the customer experience. They didn't think about how things were integrated. They didn't think about how this would be sustainable long term. They just kind of had to get the job done.
Right.
So that moved us into the next phase, which was, okay, we've implemented all of this digitalness. Now we've got to figure out, like, did we actually do it correctly? And so there was a little bit of like, how do we back into it? What has happened in parallel to that is, from a consumer perspective, we've changed our expectations of how we engage with brands and businesses as well. Right. Do I have to go see my doctor just to get an update, or can I just do a video call with them? Do I have to go in to see my bank, or can I do a video call with them, right? So even that, like, that level of like personal comfort and expectation in terms of like how meetings are run, how I'm engaging with multiple people. Do I need to fly in everybody to come be in person? Or is it good enough to have like the smartest people in the room accessible through digital means now?
Right.
Right. So communications has changed. That now brings us to this point, which is now you've got AI that has come out on top of all this and radically changed the way that we think about content creation, engagement with consumers. What are the roles of automation? If you kind of, if you want to look back in time, there was the whole automation of like what I'll call the blue collar jobs, right? Mm-hmm. So robots were put in the assembly lines in terms of how you made things. That's now happening across the white collar jobs. There's this whole automation that's being enabled. Does it mean the jobs are going to go away? No. Does it mean you do your jobs differently? Yes. Right? Where and how you're reallocating resources. So a long answer to say, technology, everything that's happened in the last 10 years is changing the technology that we're using. It's changing the processes, the way that we are engaging with people, and it's changing the experiences that we as end consumers are thinking about engaging as well. And then the last thing that I think is happening is that now you're seeing like personal adoption of things. So AI being put into your cell phone, like when you can just pull out your phone and have direct access to tools that you could not have even thought about 10 years ago.
Right.
That changes the way that you as a consumer are going to start to think about how you engage. And so I think the next step is I'll have my personal AI, bots that I have trained on my personal information. So if I want to book a trip, for example, I'll tell it to go find me the best trips. It's going to then go out and communicate with other AIs, and they're going to say, here's the deals, here's who we have, and then it's going to bring that back to me. So even the way I as a consumer is going to engage will differ in ways that I don't think we've even like imagined yet. Like that's one potential scenario. I think it's it's probably the most exciting time in technology right now that is undefined in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Now that sounds like a very dynamic and innovative space, and the potential of AI to reshape industries is immense. And I think that kind of cutting edge work is very exciting and very, forward thinking. Now let's return to the Raising Voices program and how can businesses get involved, because supporting initiatives like Raising Voices, it provides businesses with an opportunity to make a meaningful social impact. So tell us, Brent, how can businesses get involved and contribute to this important initiative?
So Raising Voices is run by the DMSC, so Digital Marketing Sector Council. If you go to dmsc.com, you should be able to find the Raising Voices program on that site. If you're interested in signing up as one of the companies that is interested in taking on an Indigenous person, that is your opportunity to put in your information. They'll connect in with you, and then they'll work with you in terms of onboarding the right resources for it as well.
That's a great call to action, and it's important for businesses to contribute to social impact initiatives. And I think this kind of community engagement is very important, especially nowadays. Now, Brent, to conclude, let's summarize the key insights for our listeners. What are the key takeaways that you'd like our listeners to remember about creating opportunities for Indigenous people, leveraging tech and AI, and enhancing customer experience? And what is the final advice that you have for businesses that are navigating these areas?
Yeah, I know we talked about Indigenous people today. I think inclusion and diversity continues to be a very important thing out there. And that's not just, a skin tone or a cultural background or a gender background or anything else. It is, diversity across a variety of ways. I often look for people who will have counter opinions to myself. I want to be able to create dialogue. I think that that's important. If you all have like the same mind thinking, you don't get innovation that way, right? You need people who are going to constantly challenge the status quo. Is this the best idea? Is this the best approach? So I think, any opportunity to create diversity is an amazing opportunity. So I encourage all businesses to think about how are you challenging what you're doing and how you get better inclusion and better diversity. I've got some of the most junior people who will come to me and come up with ideas. I'm like, I have not even thought about this.
Right.
That's an amazing idea. We need to do that, right? So like ideas come from everywhere and anywhere. So, encourage idea growth. Second, I think, we're in this next precept of technology change where there is so much opportunity that businesses have not even thought about how they can capture that. We've already got like a highly connected global network, right? You can get to any country at any time in any way through the web. You've got digital ability to connect with people now through video and voice conference. But now through the evolving capabilities that we're going to see come through AI and other new technologies, we haven't even seen like how they start to integrate fully. Right? And like what that means for businesses and business opportunities. If you went back, again, I always like to look back kind of like what happened then and what are the things that we could have learned. When the web first came out, through the 1990s to the early 2000s, people were making their own JavaScript and CSS frameworks. Now that's a multi-billion-dollar business, right? Nobody had thought about that, but there was hundreds of coders who were out there writing code and doing this and creating it for themselves. Somebody needs to sit down and look at like, what are the things, what are the commonalities? Those are the new business opportunities that will come out. I think the other thing too is every business is trying to make themselves, quote unquote, an AI business. You don't have to be an AI business just to be innovative, right? Innovation isn't because you have AI. Innovation is because you have something that we as people, as consumers, see and have a need for that was not identified. So I also think there's a little bit of like, don't jump on the hype train of like trying to be the AI business. Jump on the train of I'm trying to create something that people are going to be truly interested in and has a real impactful meaning to what either myself as a consumer or a business are going to require to need.
No, Brent, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your insights with us today. I mean, your practical advice and your forward-thinking perspective, they're both truly valuable for our listeners. And we really, really, really appreciate your time that you took out to see us today and to share your insights with us. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And that was an insightful conversation with Brent Chaters, the Managing Director of Marketing Transformation at Accenture, on creating opportunities for Indigenous people, the transformative power of technology and AI, and the evolution of customer experience. His expertise provides valuable guidance for businesses that are aiming to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. We really appreciate your continued support. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more expert insights and resources that can help your business thrive. You can also visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, for more valuable information and tools. A special thanks to our podcast partners, RBC, UPS, IAG, and Google, for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses in Canada. Until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success. We'll see you in the next episode.